People often accuse me of either being a proponent of a low carb and high protein diet, but I'm not. What I am a fan of is a controlled carb and an adequate protein diet. Here's the thing. Most people eat in excess of carbohydrates. And when I'm talking carbs, I'm actually talking about carbs that are typically married with fat and salt. So when people say I'm giving up carbs, they say they're giving up French fries, and they're giving up pastries, they're giving up cake, they're giving up cookies, they're giving up donuts. They're giving up all these things that, yes, they do have carbohydrates in them, but they have as much fat in them as possible. And because of the salt, they become hyper palatable, and people just want to eat them. So I'm all for someone removing those from their diet. When they want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and get rid of all carbohydrates, I kind of draw the line there, because I think there is value in carbohydrates. I think those are important. In terms of the protein side of things, when I say people think I am a fan of high protein, no, I'm a fan of adequate protein. And I feel the majority of the population gets an inadequate amount of protein. And for me, protein is the superstar of your plate. So we want to start there. And protein shouldn't be a percentage of your daily intake. It's more of an absolute. So a guideline I use with my clients is 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight. And regardless of one's goal, if they have a goal of gaining muscle, if they have a goal of losing fat, if they have a goal of increasing their performance, whether that be in the gym or on the road in a particular event, plus or minus, I think their protein should remain pretty much the same. And then you're building the rest of your meal plan around that. Why protein is so important? If you spent any length of time with me, you know how I feel about muscle mass. I feel it is so important to have. And there's 2 ways to maintain, because as we age, we begin to lose this lean muscle mass if we're doing nothing to sustain it. And the 2 ways really to help sustain it is strength training and then getting adequate protein. Because why protein is important, your muscles are made up of amino acids that come from protein. So when we ingest protein, your body breaks that down and uses it to build up your muscle. Now, the strength training is important because actually when you strength train, you break down that muscle, but your body will take in the protein you consume and will build itself back up even stronger, making it more resilient, making it stronger, increasing your lean muscle. So protein is the building block for that. Also, in terms of fat loss, because so many of my clients, so many of my viewers, so many of my listeners, so many of my readers, they're interested in fat loss. And why shouldn't they be? 71% of Americans are either overweight or obese. So the majority of people should be concerned with losing fat. Protein, there's something called the thermic effect of eating, or the thermic effect of food. That when you eat a certain food, your body actually expends energy. It raises your metabolism to synthesize or use the food that you ingest. Protein by far has the highest thermic effect of food, more so than fat, more so than carbohydrate. And so when you eat protein, as much as 25% of the calories that you eat in protein gets burned up to synthesize itself. So you've got this thermic effect of food or of eating protein that's going to raise your metabolism, and we know it's synonymous. Metabolism has become synonymous with being lean, with having a healthy body weight, and to some degree it's absolutely right. It's not limited to, but it certainly includes. But then lastly, protein also provides satiety. When you eat a chicken breast, it actually provides you a feeling of fullness longer than carbs certainly do. Now, fat in and of itself also provides some satiety, but protein comes at a much smaller caloric cost than does fat. So protein, you're getting this burn. Protein, you're helping to build precious lean muscle mass. And then also it's giving you this feeling of fullness longer. So for me, the all-star, the superstar, the superhero, whatever you want to label it, whatever you geek out on, whether it be sports or comic books, whatever it is, protein kind of needs to be the center. It doesn't kind of need. Protein needs to be the center of any, what I would consider right or proper or supportive meal plan.